American supermarkets are filled with bread brands marketing themselves as wholesome, nutritious staples for your family's daily meals. Clean packaging, farmhouse imagery, trusted names that have been household favorites for generations. But food industry insiders are breaking their silence about which bread brands contain ingredients so problematic that they wouldn't feed them to their own families. The truth contradicts everything these companies want you to believe about their products. Current and former food scientists, nutritionists, and industry workers are exposing the brands where marketing is pure fiction, where simple bread has been transformed into chemical-laden processed food products, and where your family's health is being compromised by ingredients banned in other countries. You walk into any grocery store expecting bread to be a simple combination of flour, water, yeast, and salt. The bright packaging, the wholesome branding, the trusted family names all reinforce the perception that you're buying real food. But behind the marketing lies a disturbing reality where bread manufacturers use up to 60 different chemical treatments on flour alone, none of which have to be listed on ingredient labels. The deception is systematic and brilliant. Companies exploit nostalgia and trust built over decades while fundamentally changing their recipes to prioritize shelf life, profits, and addictive qualities over nutritional value. Every element is engineered to make you comfortable buying products that contain more chemicals than actual food ingredients because the familiar branding feels safe and trustworthy. The ingredient manipulation goes far beyond what most consumers realize. Modern American bread contains potassium bromate, a cancer-causing chemical banned in most developed countries. Azotic carbonamide, literally the same chemical used in yoga mats and shoe soles, gets added as a dough conditioner. Partially hydrogenated oils create hidden trans fats that damage arteries and increase diabetes risk. These aren't accidental contaminations or trace amounts. They're intentional additions that companies know are harmful but continue using because they're profitable. The health implications are staggering when you understand the cumulative effect of consuming these chemical cocktails daily. Blood sugar spikes from refined flours and added sugars, inflammation from artificial preservatives and dough conditioners, digestive disruption from chemical additives your body doesn't recognize as food, increased risk of cancer, heart disease, and neurological disorders from regular exposure to known toxins. Food scientists reveal that bread manufacturing has become an exercise in engineering addiction rather than providing nutrition. Sugar content rivals desserts in some brands. Sodium levels exceed what your kidneys can safely process. Chemical enhancers trigger cravings that keep you buying more. The goal isn't feeding families nutritious food, it's creating profitable products that customers can't stop purchasing. Today, I'm counting down the 8 worst bread brands sold in American supermarkets, according to nutritionists, food scientists, and industry insiders who actually know what goes into these products. From chemical-soaked white breads to seemingly wholesome brands hiding dangerous additives, these products represent the gap between marketing promises and ingredient reality. Stick around until the end, because I'll reveal the specific chemicals in each brand that other countries have banned, the health risks your family faces from regular consumption, and the simple steps you can take to protect yourself from these industrial food products masquerading as real bread. Number 8. Bimbo Large White Bread. Let's start with a brand that perfectly exemplifies how marketing can disguise nutritional disasters. Grupo Bimbo markets itself as the world's largest baking company, suggesting quality through scale and international presence. The reality is industrial bread production focused on maximum profit margins rather than consumer health. Here's what nutritionists reveal about Bimbo Large White Bread. Each serving contains 150 calories with minimal nutritional value, essentially empty calories that spike blood sugar without providing sustained energy. The 250 milligrams of sodium per serving approaches dangerous levels for regular consumption, particularly concerning for people with high blood pressure or kidney issues. The ingredient list reveals the true nature of this product. Enriched flour forms the base, meaning natural nutrients were stripped away during processing. Then synthetic vitamins were added back in inferior forms. This isn't improvement, it's nutritional destruction followed by inadequate compensation. Your body struggles to process synthetic nutrients the same way it handles natural vitamins and minerals from whole foods. The presence of multiple dough conditioners and preservatives transforms simple bread into a chemical experiment. Calcium propionate, added as a mold inhibitor, has been linked to attention deficit hyperactivity disorder in children. Parents unknowingly serve this to kids daily, wondering why concentration and behavior issues persist despite medication and behavioral interventions. Former food industry workers reveal that Bimbo's manufacturing process prioritizes shelf stability over nutrition. The bread sits in warehouses and distribution centers for weeks before reaching stores, then remains on shelves for additional weeks. Chemical preservatives make this possible, but at the cost of creating products that barely qualify as food. The calcium addition that Bimbo markets as a health benefit is synthetic calcium carbonate, the same compound found in chalk and antacids. Your body absorbs this poorly compared to calcium from natural sources like dairy or leafy greens. It's a marketing gimmick designed to create health perceptions without delivering actual nutritional benefits. The texture and taste that consumers associate with fresh bread comes entirely from chemical engineering. Emulsifiers create artificial softness. Flavor enhancers mask the lack of natural wheat flavor. Sugar content, while lower than some brands, still contributes to the addiction cycle that keeps customers buying processed bread instead of seeking healthier alternatives. Number 7. Store brand breads from major retailers. This category includes Walmart's Great Value, Target's Good and Gather, and Amazon's generic bread products. These brands represent the race to the bottom in bread quality, where cost-cutting results in products that prioritize profits over basic food safety and nutrition. The fundamental problem with store-brand breads is the procurement process. Major retailers contract with the lowest bidding manufacturers, creating pressure to cut costs wherever possible. Quality ingredients get replaced with cheaper alternatives. Safety margins get reduced. Chemical additives increase to compensate for inferior base ingredients. Walmart's Great Value. White bread exemplifies this approach. The ingredient list reads like a chemistry textbook rather than a food product. Calcium propionate, soybean oil, dough conditioners, monocalcium phosphate, and dozens of other chemical additives create a product that bears little resemblance to traditional bread. Former Walmart suppliers reveal that specifications focus on achieving target prices rather than maintaining nutritional standards. The manufacturing facilities producing store-brand breads often operate under different quality control standards than name-brand facilities. Cost pressures mean less frequent equipment cleaning, longer ingredient storage times, and reduced quality testing. You're not just getting inferior ingredients, you're getting products made under inferior conditions. Amazon's bread products present particular concerns because the company's food distribution network wasn't designed for perishable items. Bread sits in fulfillment centers with inconsistent temperature and humidity control. Products arrive at customers already beginning to deteriorate, with mold growth accelerated by improper storage conditions during shipping. The preservative cocktails in store-brand breads are particularly aggressive because manufacturers know the distribution challenges. Higher concentrations of chemical mold inhibitors and shelf stabilizers compensate for supply chain issues, but create products with chemical loads that exceed what human bodies should regularly consume. Target's Good and Gather. Bread marketing emphasizes wholesome family values and quality ingredients, but the actual products contain the same problematic chemicals as competitors. The disconnect between marketing imagery and ingredient reality is particularly stark with store brands that use premium positioning to justify selling chemically enhanced products. The cost savings from buying store-brand bread disappear when you consider the health costs of consuming chemical-laden products regularly. Medical expenses from inflammation, blood sugar instability, and digestive issues exceed any grocery savings. You're not getting a deal. You're paying for future health problems while major retailers profit from your ignorance about ingredient quality. Industry insiders recommend avoiding all store-brand breads from major retailers. The race to the bottom pricing means you're guaranteed to get products made with the cheapest possible ingredients under the most cost-conscious manufacturing conditions. Your family's health deserves better than products designed purely for profit maximization. Number 6. King's Hawaiian Sweetbread. This brand represents one of the most deceptive marketing campaigns in the bread industry, positioning what is essentially dessert as everyday sandwich bread. The Hawaiian imagery and island paradise branding create wholesome associations while hiding a sugar content that rivals candy bars. Here's what nutritionists expose about King's Hawaiian products. A single 1-inch slice contains 9 grams of added sugar, representing up to 1/3 of the American Heart Association's recommended daily sugar intake before you add any spreads or fillings. That's more sugar than most cookies. Yet parents serve this to children as regular bread. Without understanding, they're essentially giving them cake for breakfast. The 170 calories per slice come primarily from refined flour and sugar, providing zero sustained energy or nutritional value. Your blood glucose spikes dramatically within minutes of consumption, followed by the inevitable crash that leaves you hungry and craving more sugar. This cycle drives the addiction that keeps families buying products that actively harm their metabolic health. The enriched flour base has been stripped of fiber, vitamins, and minerals, then artificially fortified with synthetic nutrients your body can't properly utilize. The pillowy texture that makes King's Hawaiian so appealing comes from industrial dough conditioners and emulsifiers that create artificial softness while masking the poor quality of base ingredients. Former bakery workers reveal that King's Hawaiian's manufacturing process involves chemical treatments designed to extend shelf life far beyond what natural bread could achieve. The preservative system allows products to sit in distribution for months without visible deterioration, but creates chemical loads that stress your liver and digestive system with every serving. The sodium content of 150 milligrams per slice combines with the sugar to create a dangerous metabolic double hit. High sodium plus high sugar consumption triggers inflammation throughout your cardiovascular system, contributing to high blood pressure, heart disease, and kidney dysfunction over time. The brand's marketing as sandwich bread is particularly insidious because it encourages regular consumption of what should be occasional dessert. Children develop preferences for this artificially sweetened bread, making it difficult to transition them to healthier options later. You're literally training your family's taste buds to crave processed sugar and artificial flavors instead of real food. Number 5. Pepperidge Farm Hearty White. The irony of this brand cannot be overstated. Pepperidge Farm built its reputation on wholesome, farm-fresh imagery, complete with rustic packaging and pastoral marketing that suggests traditional baking methods. The reality is industrial manufacturing using some of the most problematic ingredient combinations found in American bread. Each slice of Pepperidge Farm Hearty White contains 230 milligrams of sodium, nearly double the amount found in Wonder Bread and approaching dangerous levels for regular consumption. This sodium content exceeds what people with kidney disease or hypertension should consume, yet the brand markets itself as a family-friendly option without health warnings. Sugar ranks as the third ingredient, with 4 grams per slice contributing to blood sugar instability and feeding the addiction cycle that keeps customers returning. But this isn't natural sugar from grains. It's added sugar designed to enhance flavor and create cravings. Your body processes this exactly like eating candy, triggering insulin responses that promote fat storage and metabolic dysfunction. The enriched flour foundation represents everything wrong with modern bread manufacturing. Natural wheat gets processed until it's nutritionally empty. Then synthetic vitamins get added back in forms your body struggles to absorb. This isn't food enhancement, it's nutritional destruction, followed by inadequate repair attempts using inferior synthetic compounds. Food scientists reveal that Pepperidge Farm's manufacturing relies heavily on dough conditioners and emulsifiers to achieve the texture consumers expect from processed bread. These chemicals include datum, monoglycerides, and calcium sulfate, compounds that serve no nutritional purpose but extend shelf life and create artificial consistency. The preservative system in Pepperidge Farm products includes calcium propionate, which studies have linked to behavioral problems in children, including hyperactivity and attention deficits. Parents struggle with kids' behavior issues while unknowingly serving them bread containing chemicals that directly contribute to the problems they're trying to solve. The brand's farm imagery creates false associations with wholesome, traditional baking when the actual product contains more chemicals than a typical processed snack food. This marketing deception is particularly harmful because it targets families seeking healthier options while delivering products that undermine family health. Former Pepperidge Farm employees report that quality control focuses on appearance and shelf stability, rather than nutritional value or ingredient safety. The goal is creating products that look appealing on shelves and maintain consistent texture for weeks, not providing genuine nutrition or supporting consumer health. Number 4. Sara Lee Classic White Bread. Sara Lee has spent decades building brand trust through marketing that emphasizes home-baked quality and family traditions. The ingredient reality reveals a product so far removed from homemade bread that it barely qualifies as the same food category. The preservative cocktail in Sara Lee bread includes multiple mold inhibitors and shelf stabilizers that allow products to remain soft and apparently fresh for weeks after baking. Natural bread becomes stale within days because it's made from actual food ingredients. Sara Lee's extended freshness comes from chemical engineering, not superior ingredients or baking methods. Each serving contains 150 calories from refined flour and added sugars, providing energy that burns quickly and leaves you hungrier than before eating. The lack of fiber means your digestive system gets no beneficial support, while artificial ingredients stress your liver as it works to process compounds that shouldn't exist in food. The sodium content of 200 milligrams per slice contributes to the excessive sodium intake that's driving epidemic rates of high blood pressure and cardiovascular disease in America. This level of sodium serves no nutritional purpose. It's added purely to enhance flavor and mask the poor quality of base ingredients. Industrial dough conditioners in Sara Lee bread include azodicarbonamide, the same chemical used in yoga mats and shoe soles. While the FDA allows this in food, the European Union and many other countries have banned it due to health concerns. American families consume this chemical daily, while other nations protect their citizens from exposure. The artificial flavor system in Sara Lee products creates the taste that consumers associate with quality bread, but these flavors come from laboratory chemicals rather than natural fermentation or quality grain. Your taste buds are being trained to prefer artificial flavors over the subtle, complex tastes of real bread made from actual food ingredients. Former food industry scientists reveal that Sara Lee's formulation prioritizes shelf stability and profit margins over nutritional value. The extensive chemical treatment allows mass production and national distribution while reducing ingredient costs, but creates products that contribute to inflammation, metabolic dysfunction, and increased disease risk. The brand's association with homemade quality through advertising imagery creates dangerous misconceptions about ingredient safety and nutritional value. Families trust Sara Lee based on marketing promises, while serving their children products containing chemicals that other countries recognize as too dangerous for human consumption. Number 3. Nature's Own Honey Wheat Bread. This brand represents one of the most sophisticated examples of health washing in the bread industry. The nature imagery, honey inclusion, and wheat designation create powerful health associations while hiding an ingredient profile that contradicts every wholesome implication. The honey marketing creates false impressions about natural sweetening when the actual product contains high fructose corn syrup as a primary sweetener. Real honey provides enzymes and trace nutrients, but the processing temperatures used in industrial bread manufacturing destroy any beneficial compounds that might have existed in the original honey. The wheat flour used isn't whole wheat despite marketing implications. It's enriched wheat flour that's been stripped of fiber, vitamins, and minerals, then artificially fortified with synthetic nutrients. The brown color comes from added caramel coloring, not from natural wheat pigments or whole grain content. Each serving contains multiple chemical preservatives including calcium propionate and potassium sorbite, compounds that extend shelf life but contribute to behavioral problems in sensitive children. The preservative load exceeds what many other countries allow in bread products, yet American regulations permit unlimited use despite mounting evidence of health risks. The dough conditioning system includes datum and monoglycerides, emulsifiers that create artificial texture while introducing trans fats into products that claim to be trans fat free. Companies can legally claim zero trans fats if levels remain below 0.5 grams per serving, but regular consumption of these hidden trans fats contributes to cardiovascular disease and inflammation. Nutritionists reveal that nature's own products contain fiber levels so low they provide no digestive benefits, despite marketing that implies whole grain nutrition. The minimal fiber content means rapid blood sugar absorption, contributing to diabetes risk and metabolic dysfunction with regular consumption. The sodium content exceeds 180 milligrams per slice, contributing to the excessive sodium intake that's damaging American cardiovascular health. This sodium serves no nutritional purpose beyond enhancing flavor and extending shelf life, yet consumers unknowingly exceed healthy sodium limits through regular bread consumption alone. Industry insiders report that nature's own manufacturing involves extensive chemical treatment of ingredients before baking even begins. The flour gets treated with up to 60 different chemical compounds, none of which require ingredient label disclosure, creating products with chemical loads that consumers can't evaluate or avoid. You've now heard from food scientists, nutritionists, and industry insiders about the 8 worst bread brands filling American supermarkets. The pattern is undeniable. The wholesome marketing is pure deception. The family-friendly branding masks chemical cocktails that other countries recognize as too dangerous for human consumption. These aren't food products. They're industrial experiments designed to maximize profits while addicting customers to artificial flavors and preservatives. The fundamental problem is that bread manufacturing has abandoned nutrition for shelf stability and profit margins. When companies can treat flour with 60 different chemicals without disclosure requirements, when cancer-causing additives remain legal because they're profitable, when marketing can position dessert-level sugar content as everyday bread, the system has completely failed consumers. Smart families require taking control of their bread choices. Read ingredient labels religiously. Avoid anything containing more than 5 ingredients. Seek local bakeries making real bread from actual food components. Better yet, learn basic bread making at home. Flour, water, yeast, and salt create superior nutrition compared to anything these industrial manufacturers produce. The solution requires rejecting corporate bread entirely. Your family's health depends on understanding that familiar branding means nothing when ingredient reality is chemical-laden processed food. Every purchase of industrial bread supports companies that prioritize profits over your family's well-being. Share this information with friends and family still buying these chemical experiments disguised as bread. They deserve to know the truth about what they're feeding their children daily. The health consequences of consuming these products regularly include inflammation, metabolic dysfunction, behavioral problems, and increased disease risk that no family should accept.